I consider myself a public artist, and I paint murals and I do other public art. So my foundation's been in a lot of doing community art. I also am an art educator. School, I took a graphic design class, and that helped me point myself in the direction of art. I had an internship from that at the Smithsonian and the Natural History Museum, working on exhibits. And then college itself, I went to ASU. I have a degree in art, obviously, and I worked at the ASU Art Museum, and I worked in exhibits there as well. So in high school, I just fell in love with Tempe. And then of course, I went to ASU. So I lived in Tempe the whole time I lived in ASU. And I ended up my last year at ASU, I moved across the street from Gamage. And I lived in a converted garage for like 8 years, 9 years. And it was like the best space. I really focus on the idea of community and people working together. So that's why there are a lot of radial patterns. Good mental health is important, so I want to make really optimistic spaces that people feel better about themselves when they're entering the spaces or when they see it, that they feel lit up or more vibrant. And I feel more lit up and vibrant when I'm making them. I would rather focus on healing and finding solutions to the angst, and so that's kind of where all my work comes from. So I believe it's great because it really embraces that creative aspect. They really have an invested interest in building a great community, and I think that the city is willing to listen to people. When people have complaints, when people aren't happy about certain things, at least the city has that ear. So right now, the project I'm probably most engaged in is the project at Cul-de-sac. And so Cul-de-sac is like the first car-free community development in the country, which is super cool. When they were designing the actual community, they had the artist selected of who was going to be making art there. And then we got to go in and decide where we were going to place our art. They kind of brought us on board and let us have our own vision, and had that discussion with us. Even from usually how murals go is there's a wall and they go, come see my wall.
Yeah.
Take a picture and design it. But this was really like, we want your insight. We want your input. We want to see where your work is going to be most effective. And most of the time people just know my work. And so because they know my work, they know exactly, what type of work to expect. But I do collaborate, and I do work with my students when we're working on projects. And so we've done a lot of different things, and that's always interesting when you have lots of voices in the mix. And so, for the most part, like people will kind of give me some sense of their ideas of what they want or color scheme or something like that. And then I just try to incorporate that. I always try to get feedback, especially in the beginning from a client, because I want their input. So definitely Rose Johnson, and she's not with us anymore. She passed away, unfortunately. She was doing a lot of murals for free here, apparently. And definitely, just any of the muralists that have come before me, like the greats, and all the local artists too. No, I don't know, just be involved. Like, you know what I mean? Just always be listening and aware of everything that's going on around you. Every little door that you can get your foot in, and just try to make connections and friendships and all of those things. All of those help